we're back. Season 1, episode 3, technically, right?
Yep.
It's going to become episode 2 when I convince Eli to scrap the first episode.
No, everyone's here. They love the first episode.
All right, no, for real though. Today we're talking about top 5. Top 5 MCs, maybe top
5.
10. Who are your best? And we'll have that discussion later.
Hey,
MC versus rapper, right?
Just so you guys know, who aren't looking at the video, we got a Rolling Stone of Dr. Dre and Ice Cube. We got a Biggie,
here.
And we got Jay-Z.
What year is this?
So, I mean, when we're talking top 5, right?
October 2008. This is when he dropped.
Those are probably worth something, by the way.
Yeah, this is when he dropped the Blueprint 3.
Wow. Iconic.
Oh, look. Duh.
Wow. Very
Right?
cool.
Yeah.
Don't age yourself, though.
Me?
Yeah. 2003.
It's too late for that. I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
We have
yeah.
our roles in the podcast.
Yeah.
But we just figured, it'd be cool to talk about top 5, right? After we're talking about moving on from the last couple episodes.
Well, it's not fair. You're so much younger than me that I'm the show's old head.
Well, we need an old head. You know what I mean? But
there are older
I act
old
like
heads.
old head.
There are older old heads than me.
And they're younger young bulls than me.
We're gonna invite DVS on the show because he has a slightly his hip hop experience goes back further than mine. But for today, I think we should talk. Let's talk top 5 dead or alive. That's just off one LP. Look, that's Jadakiss brings up Jadakiss. That's a Jay's. That's a Jadakiss line.
Jadakiss, man, that's the dude. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, should we just go ahead and I'll list mine. I feel like we should start. Let's start 5, and then we'll work our way up to 1. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean who the 5th is?
Yeah, we'll build it up. I
have this really long list that I made a long
in your
time
fives?
ago. It's more than 5.
Well, we gotta go like bottom.
Oh,
like that.
Dude, 5 is so hard.
I know 5's the hardest one.
Let's start with 10. And then
no, we're not going 10. We could talk the ones that don't make top 5.
Real quick, like if I have to fire away 5 MCs that are in my top 5, Nas, Jay-Z, and then see here, do Biggie and Pac automatically get in there? Maybe, sort of. I don't know. That's a sidebar. But they have to be discussed.
I think Weezy might be number 1.
Wow. See, that's a whole statement.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Lil Wayne though, dude, that's the guy.
I remember vividly, actually in 2009, when we were having the same conversation. We used to have this conversation at the Sound Lab. What up, Tom? Tom Rowan, shout out to Tom.
And this is another one that's like controversial. Like
we used to have this conversation in 2009, and people were loving Lil Wayne so much they would make him number 1.
Obsessed. Yeah.
They would make him number 1 back then.
I think so.
And it would piss people off. I was one of those people that would get mad because I would be like, how are you going to put Lil Wayne over Pac or Biggie or Nas or
I don't know. His
Eminem?
Body of work, the Carters, all the Carters stuff. And then he's got pop records. I mean, he's all over the map. And the dude is one of the hardest working people from what I understand.
Lil Wayne has been in the rap game since he was one of the hot boys.
Yeah, iconic. I mean, just like the
like
impact
14?
he's had with his flows, with everything. I don't know. Like
when Juvenile and the Birdman were doing their thing, he was like, I think he was like 13 or 14.
Yeah. Well, he was, right? Because like he's got all these stories like losing his virginity at like 12 or 11 or something, maybe even younger than that.
But he taught also. I saw him in an interview talking about how like he dropped out of high school kind of because he was too famous to go. Because they were Cash Money was blowing up, and though he was just a teenager at the time and he was like part of the clique, he couldn't go to classes anymore without people being like,
it kind of blows my mind like how young these rappers are that have been around forever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean he's an exception.
He's getting up there, but like even like 2 Chainz or 21 Savage or like all these like dudes.
2 Chainz is actually known for being one of the oldest rappers to blow. Put Lil Wayne at 1. At 1, Eminem.
Well, here's the thing. I don't put Eminem in my top 5.
Oh, that's hard. That's tough.
Which is crazy, but Eminem is not. Yeah, I don't know. That's controversial too. I mean, the dude. Yeah, you got to give him his props. I'm not saying he's not top 5, but he's not.
Nice with
he's
the
not for me.
I get it, though.
Are we being objective? Or are we talking about our own? Because, you got to talk about, like...
No, everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their own opinions. I just think that There's so many. There's so many at this point in time. There has been so many super influential. Like, look, there's Dre and Ice Cube, Snoop. Where does Snoop fall into that?
Right.
DMX is got to be in my top 5 probably somewhere.
I don't know. There's like, do you have room for him in the top 5?
Well, see, maybe not top 5 because I don't know. Now that he's dead, it's like a different story. We know that we're not getting any more.
Right.
It's Dark and Hell is Hot is one of the hottest. I mean, I sound like a broken record. Everybody listening to this is like, of course he's saying that.
Right.
But It's Dark and Hell is Hot is to me one of the. And look, here's my little our little Def Jam.
Shout out Def Jam.
What about LL Cool J? If you open this thing, it's gonna take you to Beastie Boys.
You know what's interesting, man? Because like
DMC.
The Beastie Boys, right? You know, like Funky Monkey, a Brass Monkey, whatever.
Yeah, Funky Monkey.
Yeah. Like the Beastie Boys have some hits, and your generation loves Beastie Boys. But for some reason, like I don't fully get it. Like they're like rock stars, but I'm like the Beastie Boys. I'm like,
you're making me older than I am.
No, you're not old. You're not old. You're not old. I'm just saying, like the Beastie Boys is a funny lane for me.
There's 2 different eras though too. There's like old school Beastie Boys, and then there's Sabotage, which was, I don't know, Sabotage dropped in the 2000s, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's their like biggest hit, I think.
Maybe it was the late 90s. See, once it gets to be so far away, I can't even remember. We'll have to look that one. Should I Google when Sabotage dropped? 94? Okay, I was way off.
yeah, man.
But compared to like, the stuff that made them popular, that was 80s. So I feel like Sabotage was like a lot later, but it wasn't a lot later.
Well, it is cool. I mean, we were talking about this a little bit, how hip-hop is a bit of a reflection of, like, mainstream music at the time. Totally. And how, like, rock was a thing then, and then you have this R&B jazz type hip-hop, and then now we're even seeing this country hip-hop. So that's a cool thing. That,
the 90s were...
The 90s was a vibe.
And I think, like, just a huge time for mainstream music. People are still digesting and buying CDs, you know what I mean? And I mean, so many good artists, mainstream artists, in lots of genres, including rock.
Yeah.
Nirvana, Bush, and then after that,
all that alt rock stuff.
Everyone, like, then it was like Soundgarden and like a lot of big 90s rock stars also came out of the 90s, but then if you think about it, that's when you're listening to.
Well, that's the culture, like
Biggie, Pac, East Coast, West Coast, and then like so many artists.
I think a skate culture too, like that aesthetic and how that kind of bred the
Linkin
even
Park.
Like in the park, Linkin Park.
Skater culture is a great example of how rock and rap mixed.
Right.
There's a tons of cool examples of that before Linkin Park and Jay-Z did that mashup.
Yeah, people were exploring that. All right, we got to stay on topic.
I got to read you my list.
Right.
It's way longer than 5.
Here's one. I love Busta Rhymes, bro.
Oh, see, he didn't even make my gigantic list.
He's not even in your list?
Ready? This is in no particular order.
Okay.
DMX, Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, Pac, Eminem, Outkast, Rakim.
Okay.
Black Thought from the Roots, Big Pun, Mos Def, Method Man, J. Cole, Talib Kweli, Snoop Dogg. Lupe Fiasco gets forgotten about, but he's nice. What up, Brozar? Baby, he'd be happy I said that. Jada Kiss, Slick Rick, Big Daddy Kane, and then I kind of have like a secondary shout to my secondary favorite rappers. Like, not secondary, but like Bone Thug and Harmony, Ice Cube, Common. I thought Cuban Link was nice.
Q-Tip.
Yeah, I don't have him on my list, but he deserves a lot of those props, right?
For sure.
What about Ludacris, Cypress Hill?
Cameron.
Big Daddy Kane. Diplomat Cameron? Yeah. Oh, you know who I like is Joel Santana, I think is underrated.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know who that is.
He's part of the Diplomats.
Oh, cool.
He did
well, that's a shift too, man.
Listening to gangsta. You know that song Beamer Benzo Bentley? Everybody knows that song.
I think so, yeah.
Beamer Benzo Bentley. Beamer Benzo Bentley.
Yeah.
It's Lloyd Banks and Joel Santana. Which was a kind of a weird collab, but it was a banger.
Cool.
Project X. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, of course.
That was like the same year. I think it was on the soundtrack.
It's interesting too because like now there's not as many groups, but when you talk about, I guess you can't be like Wu-Tang or like.
See,
group doesn't
I said
qualify.
Method Man, but I didn't say Wu-Tang.
I know.
That's a whole that's a whole nother. Me and some of my cousins, we love arguing. Merv is listening. Yeah. Some of my boys used to beef with me because I would be like, Ghostface is alright.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I just made a lot of people mad. I just made a lot of people mad.
You still feel that way?
No, I really have mad respect for Ghostface, but I love
Ghostface.
I'm not going to him first.
Right.
If I want to listen to Wu-Tang music, sorry, I'm a Method Man fan.
Right.
And then a lot of people Method Man and Redman. I'm waiting for Method Man's verse. And I like Redman, but I just
feel you guys would be like listening to a record and be like, okay, this verse.
To your point,
because you think they were battle. Like to me, I'm not listening to Tribe and being like, yo.
Is it? I think it's a matter of preference based upon almost you.
For sure.
Right. So like, if I'm listening to all of Wu-Tang, which one of these dudes can I relate to the most personally?
Yeah,
whose style do I like the most? Who am I checking to like? I used to study Method Man's verses.
Yeah.
And be like, oh my God, did you hear the way that he flipped that and how he said this? And microphone checker, swinging sword lecture, supreme neck protector. That whole verse on was it the Rottweiler?
Yeah.
Better warn him, kid, Mr. Method. Boiling hot, about to blow his lid from the pressure. Too hot for TV for cheesy. Too many wanna be hard, be easy. It's melodic. If you listen to the acapella to some of these MCs, even without the beat, you want to respit some of these verses.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the coolest parts. It's like you dig out. It's the same, as a instrumentalist, you dig out parts that you like and you steal it. It becomes part of your language.
See, you're
so
more
you
of a
have
producer.
to have an ear for that. Well, no, I mean, I've had a shift because growing up,
you make beats though.
But
way more beats than I
didn't listen. I didn't listen to the words like that. It's been a shift for me because I'm like, yo, this beat is fire.
Yeah.
Like I'm like listening and I'm like, ooh, I like the little neo soul jazz flavor on this or how this makes me feel versus like, or the hook or like. I wasn't necessarily just hearing the bars.
I remember my parents popping in on me. This is way back. Ready? It was either one of my older sister's boombox that they had. I had Snoop Dogg Dog Style on cassette.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's dope.
And of course, I didn't own very many cassettes because I'm at the era of buying CDs, whether you believe that or not.
Nah, you was pre-tape. You
got me.
You had vinyls, bro.
You got me at vinyl.
Yeah.
No, I had the Snoop Dogg Dog Style cassette, and I would rewind it. Murder Was the Case,
dude.
Was the first.
Wait, was that the cover with Snoop as like?
It's a cartoon. It's like
it's a cartoon.
Yeah,
classic.
It's iconic. It's like all black and I mean it's blue and red, and he looks like he's on the doghouse. You know what I mean? Anyway, but I remember my parents popping in on me and being like, how do you hear that? And I'd be like, what do you mean?
How do you hear what the words?
They'd be like, he's saying the words to that song so fast.
Right.
And I remember being like, oh, like there was a time before I really started to listening to rap that I couldn't hear it either. Almost as if like learning a language, I can just hear it now.
Yeah.
And so people that don't listen to the genre, it's hard for them to be picking up the lyrics that quickly. So I don't know.
You have to be present with music too. You have to if you're fully digesting it. It's like you can't be thinking about what you had for lunch or what your sister's mad at you or whatever, and it kind of can teleport you in this space because there's so much to listen and engage with.
That's the coolest thing about music is it takes you to a place that where you are very present.
And then you can remember where you were when you heard it because it activates these senses in you.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm a young teen kid in my room. I'm there.
Who was the first rapper to come in and just start spitting crazy double time, just the fastest guy?
I think they credit a lot of the cool Big Daddy Kane started doing that.
Yeah.
If you listen to the 18th Letter, which was a little bit even past my time, but I went back and listened to it. because your favorite rapper's favorite rapper too, right? Nas did the what was it called? The biography of Rakim. It was a song, so he's just giving Rakim props.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, why is Nas talking about Rakim? I gotta go listen to this. And 18th Letter is hot.
Whoa.
And and he's doing a lot of that, like, multi-syllable,
like 16 notes,
rhyming, and it's hot.
Yeah.
They were like some of the grandfathers of that, I guess. But as I look up at the sky, my mind starts tripping. A tear drops my eye. Snoop Dogg is almost like he's got so much soul.
I could see
he's almost
Snoop
singing.
in the top 5.
He's almost singing. Yeah, dude.
You know? I mean, Snoop, like, the G-Funk sound is so cool to me. Because, like, I love what Bootsy Collins is doing.
For shizzle.
Like,
that was a whole thing.
California loving. I don't know when that joint came out. But
in the 90s.
That changed it.
That's off the Pox. It's a Dre beat.
I mean, but Dre.
That's a Dre beat.
Dre isn't even in the conversation, right?
Well, he's more of a producer too, but still,
right?
Why not?
Yeah.
2001.
I think a big part of it is like who.
The Chronic is.
Well, you got to look at discography. Like you have your like Too Short, Blow the Whistle, or whatever. You have a lot of these people who have like
E40.
Yeah, E40 who have like 1 or 2 joints.
Right.
That are like you gotta play.
Totally.
You know, I'm just thinking of people who put out like these iconic records, but they have
Mark Morrison.
There you go. What else does he have?
I don't know.
It's actually fun when you like find these people who have these hits, like, and then you look at their discography and you're like, whoa. Because most of the time the music they're making is so different than the one that pops off. You're like,
not that it belongs in anybody's top 5, but you just made me think of Montel Jordan. How we do it.
This is how we do it.
Can you think of a second Montel Jordan song?
But like,
But when Friday night comes around, you're hearing it.
Yeah. I was thinking about that because I was like, man, I want to make one of these.
You DJ sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's it. I mean, like,
I'm telling you stuff that's on No Diggity.
There you go, Blackstreet.
That's
a Dre beat, I think.
Although
I'm pretty sure.
Blackstreet got a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
But I was just bumping them, and that's an R&B group.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we're talking like the R&B 90s.
But still, some of those, like you said, some of those instrumentals are so, like, solidified in our memories that you play 3 seconds of it.
Yeah.
And people of all generations and backgrounds are like, oh, I know that song. Right. Oh, I love that song.
What's that Flip De Niro joint? You know who that is? Oh man, he had a hit. But I'm just thinking, or like for me, like
it's a tough. Everybody's top 10, top 5 is going to be different too.
Like Big Crit, Cadillac, Black. There's always those records that you like remember and you associate.
What about like, T.I.?
Right, T.I. got a bunch.
I said Big Pun. What about?
But T.I. kind of went in the R&B too.
I don't know. Was Fat Joe? Fat Joe? Hell yeah. That was like old school.
I said Big L earlier. I love Big L. So we'd like to sponsor HOTC Studios, Heart of the City Studios here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Rated one of the best studios. We have 2 beautiful booths with a bunch of microphones. Sitting here with the owner. And
let us bring your project to life. If you have a music project that you're working on, especially if it's vocal driven, we're your team. All right, so now we're back. You were saying Lil Wayne was definitely in your number 1. I was just saying
no, it wasn't definite.
No, I mean not your number 1. I'm just saying he's in your top 5, which is cool.
Yeah.
I have respect for that.
I think so for sure.
I think it's a different conversation now than it was even 15 years ago, but I was just saying, if you're going to create a top 5 list, is your top 5 list strictly microphone skills or like how nice they are with their pen, or are we talking about influence on culture, hip hop culture, American pop culture, like how vast? I'm saying if you're gonna make it an ultimate top 5, then it can't only be just they make.
I mean, I kind of think top 5 is just
good
like,
raps.
It is the best, like the best rapper, like the top 5 best rappers, like most iconic, changed your life, change the way people rap, like pioneers, like.
If it's top 5, like
obviously it's a very tough conversation, but just like we're talking the best of the best is what you're
I'm gonna have like that personally influenced me. I gotta say, like, I gotta say, Nas, Eminem. God, it's hard not like Tupac and Biggie. I want to almost like, can they get one credit because they're deceased? You know,
I don't think so.
No, probably not. But still, Eminem, Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, Pac. Like, if there's a Mount Rushmore for me, that's 5. Like, I think you bring me your top 5. DMX is on. DMX is in my top.
What about
top 5? Somewhere.
Kanye? Did you say Jay-Z?
I didn't even mention Kanye. I didn't even put Kanye on my list, and
he's not on your list,
which is crazy.
Actually,
yeah.
Did we just forget about this guy? Like, there's been like a universal like
No, we didn't forget about Kanye.
we just don't. We don't listen to anything he says anymore.
I just speak. You know.
Wait, so your 5 is Nas. Eminem.
They belong there. I'm putting DMX in my top 5.
DMX is 3.
That's 3.
No, we're going order though. Like
Jay-Z has got to be on there.
Jay-Z.
And Snoop. How about that? Snoop Dogg. Is that a weird top 5?
Yeah. No,
it's a weird top 5, isn't it?
I love it. I wanna see this on the screen when I'm watching this podcast.
Do it again. We said Nas, Eminem, DMX, Snoop,
and Jay-Z. It wasn't that order though.
It wasn't in that order, but
I
I left Tupac and Biggie off.
Oh my god,
it
is so hard. Well, I had Wheezy, and then I had Biggie, and then I had Jay-Z, and then Kanye. What about J. Cole? He's not even on there.
He's on my long list. I love J. Cole.
I'm gonna put Mac Miller on there.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I would.
Shout out to Mac.
I wouldn't, and I like a lot of Mac Miller songs.
I might put Kendrick on there.
Mac Miller was past my time.
Dang.
My stepdaughter helped me listen to Mac Miller.
Yeah.
That's what reminds me.
You know, it is interesting when people die, the whole way their catalog is revamped and everything.
Yeah.
But no, I grew up listening to Mac. Man.
That's tough, dude.
I don't know. I think
I listened to a ton of Outkast too, and still.
Yeah, but can you Andre 3000? Yeah, they're their own thing though.
I think Big Boy is nice. Big Boy doesn't get enough credit. Everybody wants to talk about Andre 3000 because he's creative and different and plays the flute now. But I mean, like,
yeah, he does.
I think Big Boy, produced a lot of those fire beats that we love and is nice.
No doubt.
Daddy Fat Sax.
Okay.
BIGBOI. Be the same motherfucker. Put the knuckles to your eye. The whole ATLiens album is fire.
Unbelievable.
From start to finish. I mean, I don't really want to. I don't really have to hit skip. I can listen to Two Dope Boys in a Cadillac, all of that.
Well, we were talking about just like the catalog, like, well, the way those records were made, just like the risks they were taking, like,
right.
The way they produced, like, it was just like this free, the use of samples, the use of like, they were really pushing some stuff, and that was like a really cool time, probably to be in Atlanta.
The game changed in the past 15, 20 years, and I think the way that it changed is that, especially in the 90s, they didn't want to sound like each other. And they still wanted to be they still wanted the top spot. So they were trying to not sound like any of the other rappers that were out.
Yeah.
So that when their song played, there would be no question, oh, this isn't Biggie.
Well, I think people still want that. I will say that, I mean, the biggest shift is like we're not seeing as many sampled records anymore. And I think part of that is because why would you sample someone and give up, all these percentages
right
when you could just build it yourself?
Yeah, that's true.
So like a lot of the beats coming out now, you have your certain artists that are sampling. But like that was the roots of it, and then on top of that, like there was a lot more of that jazz, there was like hip hop.
Right.
Anyways, I gotta give you my top 5 because we're wrapping up this episode.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, Wayne is up there for you.
I know. Fine, I'll put him at 1, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then let's go Biggie.
Okay.
And then let's go Jay-Z.
Okay.
And then let's go Kanye.
Not all right. Perfect.
And then let's go Mac Miller.
Wow, in your top 5.
Yeah.
That's a really different top 5.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So but see, that's like how much you probably listen to so much of that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I can't objectively tell you who's the best, but I can tell you, the shit that I grew up on, right? Like, that's why the conversation is, like, very difficult, and
it's regional.
I'm maybe not even a big enough head to be like, yo,
it's regional.
I can't give you, like, there's a little emotions. I'm not giving you, like, an objective top 5.
I like that.
Right? I'm just, yeah. And it could be any given day, too.
You go to L.A., you will hear Pac coming out of everybody's cars. It's kind of
I know.
Cool.
I didn't even put Pac on there. But Pac's super impressive to me because he died so young, and the dude put out so much music, and that wasn't a time where you could just drop music like you can now. Like,
that's it. That's cool. Bobby Sasquatch and Greco's top 5. We'll see y'all. We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.